Leslie, Geeks and Company Geeking Out, and today we're doing another community series, and we have Kevin Clements, and we're going to be right with him right after this. I just want people to travel, just to, show that, we have all these different hues of African Americans, different shades, different personalities, and so on. I just want more people to travel.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I'm saying if you're going to travel in your lifetime, definitely make sure you put Africa on the list. Any of the countries there.
Well, let me ask you this: what was it in your early years that put the travel bug in you, if I can say that? Was there anything in particular?
Yeah, sure. Well, so I didn't do Peace Corps right out of college. I did the corporate world first, and after the corporate world, I joined the military. And in the military, I got to travel, but I really didn't actually see and get ingrained in the community. You go to court, you got 24 hours, and you do what you do, and you get back on the ship. So when I was done with my experience in the Navy, I was working for FEMA and met some returned Peace Corps volunteers, and their stories intrigued me. But to be honest with you, I always wanted to travel since I was in the corporate world. I met a lot of foreigners, and I'm like, it's nice to hear about where you're from, but I'd like to visit there. And Peace Corps gave me the opportunity. Now, I was lucked out to go to West Africa because I really wanted to actually learn French. I studied Spanish, I had a French name, but I spoke Creole, but French and Creole is not the same thing, so I wanted to actually learn French. So Peace Corps sent me there thinking that I had some French in me, and I faked it till I made it, and I kept on faking till I make it, and I made it. So maintenant je parle français très bien. J'apprends français dans Guinée Conakry. But honestly, I was just lucked out, and it was a great experience for me. And since then, I just had to travel bug.
Okay. Well, I say for me, the whole idea of the possibility of travel probably started with me at an earlier age. I grew up in a neighborhood in Detroit where, let me say this first of all, that most of the people around me never traveled, and I would dare say that in the neighborhood that I grew up in until I was 14, most of those folk probably never went much beyond Detroit.
Wow.
Now, when I was 13, I was blessed in that my parents took us on a camping trip, me and my brothers and sisters, in one of these pop-up campers.
Oh, wow.
From Detroit to California, 8 days.
Wow, nice.
So, first of all, once we left St. Louis, I didn't see any other black people.
Oh,
so that dispelled that myth straight away.
Yep.
That, hey, the world is filled with us, or at least the U.S. is filled with us. I mean, I didn't see another black person until we got to California.
Oh my gosh.
But then you go through Iowa, and you can go for a whole day, and there's nothing but corn. Then you get to the mountains, and it's like, whoa. So it's like, what? All this is like out there? So that probably in itself, built the idea of the possibilities in my mind. I said, well, shoot, this is out there.
What else?
All I got to do is just get on the road. What else is out there?
Exactly. That's great.
And I'm afraid that for so many young people, we don't get the first glimpse of possibilities, because as young folk, we don't go, from what I see, they're still not really going anywhere. They're still not really going much outside their state.
No, I agree with that. And just as a recruiter, I met so many people who actually not only them, but their family never left their the county as so much as their state. There are people out there who just have never left their state. So they're raising kids who, they're not really promoting them to go beyond their community and so on. So it's harder to convince people to travel and so on. Sometimes the answer is, well, if I need to travel, I'll just turn on, the National Geographic. See, no, that's the difference between seeing what you see on TV and touching and feeling an experience. I know travel's not for everybody, but everyone should think about it. Just like I always say, I know Peace Corps is not for everybody, but everybody should consider it.
Yeah.
But there's all other programs out there. You don't always have to go through Peace Corps. Well, you should. But to get experience. Especially when you're young. You study abroad programs out there. There's money for that too. You just have to work a little bit to find that money. There's nothing good is always that easy. So, but the first thing is getting them just to even encourage them to want to do that. I've seen that, and I'm surprised because you're talking about like 20 years ago too, at least a few decades ago, when these people have not in Detroit left their community.
No.
Well, right. I'm talking about like within the last
even today, huh?
The last decade, within the last 5 years, there's 2 people who have not left their community. So what do we do?
Yeah, but now at 13, it's not because I wanted to travel. It's because
but your family.
We're gonna travel.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
That's it.
Yeah. You need that support system where they encourage.
Yeah. So I think that's probably what we're going to have to start doing, coming up with programs where we take young people, 13, 14, 15, and we take them across country. We take them to the ocean if they haven't been to the ocean. We take them to see the mountains out west. And
I know there's few programs out there, but I always encourage it. Just because it's one doesn't mean that you're never gonna invent the wheel. So you could always reinvent the wheel. So you may not. There's a program that's doing that already. Well, so what? If you have the will, the strength, the encouragement to do your own program, do that. Or direct somebody to a program that does already exist. So they are that, and I agree. That's what we need to do. Is get them up in an early age.
At an early age, right.
Get them excited about it.
Exactly. Or when they're young, just get on a bus with them and go somewhere.
And lead them to, again, like I said, I have a website and I need to probably update it, but it has links to where you can find money. I mean, it's not all inclusive of everything in there, but there are some. On the Little Black Village website, littleblackvillage.org. You could find a link to all these scholarships and so on, and that's the start. So people excuses it's like, okay, you do a family thing, but then they go into high school and they want to do a study abroad, and they say, it always comes down to the bottom line, which is funding. People always think that you have to be rich or have upper middle class to be able to do the same thing that everybody else is doing. Not so true. One thing is a few different ways, but I'll mention 2. One is do well in school and get scholarships. 2 is just do some research and find grants. So those two simple ways. You gotta do some work. That's it. I mean, nothing. Again, good's that easy. But there are ways to do it without having to come out of pocket and make up excuses.
Yes.
But let's talk a little bit. Let's go back to your Peace Corps experience because I know you said it a while ago. So, as far as living in your community and so on, have you ever gone back to your community to visit or anything like that?
Well, actually, I have. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Okay, a couple of times.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's great.
Yeah. No, when I first got married, my wife was actually from New Jersey, and then
you went with your wife?
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
Yeah. Then I had, long story short, I had gone back to Africa. I went to Zimbabwe because the president of Zimbabwe, Robert Mugabe, came to Morehouse where I was a student, and he said, African Americans, come and bring your skills. So after Peace Corps, I had made up my mind I was going to go back to Africa with something. Oh, wow. So when I came back from Africa, I went back to the U.S. and got on with MCI and worked with them for 3 years until I thought I had enough skills to go back. Then one-way ticket, went to Zimbabwe. And after about 6 months in Zimbabwe, I started working with Zimbabwe Postal Telecommunication Corporation. At that point, I sent for my girlfriend. She came over. We actually got married. in Zimbabwe.
Oh wow, that's great. That's a nice story.
Yeah, so during that time in Zimbabwe, I went to Swaziland and I took her. So yeah, went back to the communities that I lived.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
Oh man.
And not only that, last year I took my son and my daughter to Swaziland.
Oh, see, that's what I'm talking about.
Right.
Yeah. See. Wow. How did they see it? Was it something excitement for them, or were they hesitant?
Man, I wish I had the picture. Well, Swaziland is a very interesting country in that it's homogeneous. There's only one ethnic group.
Oh yeah.
Unlike a lot of African countries which were divided by the colonial lines, so you've got several ethnic groups in one country. Swaziland only has one ethnic group. They're all Swazis. So therefore, they have several national ceremonies which they all participate in. They have a national traditional dress, not that like they dress that way all the time, but they have a traditional dress, which is the skins and the feathers. You can see a guy getting out of a Mercedes-Benz, who's a bank manager with a Rolex watch on, about to go into the bank, Stetson shoes, but he'll have skins,
really,
feathers,
oh,
right,
wow.
right. But he'll have his Rolex watch, his Mercedes, that's Swaziland.
Wow.
So anyway, they have this one ceremony called what was it, Nkwala, which is like first fruits. Where all the young men come and they go to the king's royal crawl and whatnot, and they're all dressed in the feathers and the skins and whatnot. So my son got a chance to participate.
Oh wow!
So we went and got into the clothes and everything. This was like last year.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh wow! That's so cool.
So he went to the crawl, the royal crawl and everything.
Oh wow!
And he said it was like, shoot, what's this movie?
Captain America?
No. It's oh shit, I can't even think. He said they were going back and forth. Yeah, a whole bunch of them.
Yep. Oh wow! Oh, that's so cool. It sounds like stepping or something.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it was cool.
Oh man.
So we spent time in Swaziland going, hitting all my little stops.
Yes. That's so
yeah.
nice. You see, I would love to do that with my nephews or something like that, my family members. But who knows? Because I'm always traveling, so I just had visited Ghana and I wanted to go to Senegal and Guinea, but I didn't. I instead went to Kenya and Rwanda.
Oh, cool.
I met up with Deontay down there who served in Rwanda, now actually living in Rwanda. Yeah. So, but that's so cool.
The Avatar. That's the movie I was trying to think.
The Avatar.
Right,
Okay.
You see some scene from the scene from the Avatar.
Now everybody's gonna look at that. Go back to the Avatar and look that up. Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, anything that you want to share about traveling, Peace Corps, and before we go into that, do want to ask a question that I've asked a few other people, pass it to you. It's just like, could you give me a story of the best moment in your experience in Peace Corps, and maybe the worst moment? Let's go with the worst first, and then we can lighten up with some the best.
Worst moment with Peace Corps.
I mean, if you had, not everybody had, but the worst moment could have been, oh my gosh, they have no cappuccino machine. Who knows?
Oh, okay. Well, at one point, I did have a housemate.
Oh, you did?
Well, that wasn't just at one point. When I first went to Peace Corps, I stayed in two different spots. The first spot I stayed in was in the compound, the workers' compound of a sugarcane plantation in a place called Vuvulane. Now this, and it was, a square, rectangular, small house, no electricity, but it had water on the inside, which I learned, man. If you got water on the inside, you're good.
You golden.
Right.
Yeah. Wow.
Because you can, for electricity, man, you got candles.
Yeah. It was the big thing for me, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't know if it's a good thing, but I read by candlelight, and I read more books in Peace Corps than I think I've ever read, and, consecutively through my life. I want to say that. But yeah, I mean, I had the time, so yeah, no distractions and whatnot, but that's great.
Well, I had a Swazi African brother who was a housemate. And he was cool. Richard Dlamini was his name.
Richard Dlamini.
Dlamini, yeah. He was a cool brother, So that was that place. I stayed there for a year. Then the next year, I went into the Highlands, and there was brand new teachers' houses. And I stayed in one of the teachers' houses, which did have electricity and hot water and all that stuff.
Wow, nice.
So I was there for a while by myself, and then another Peace Corps volunteer came, and he stayed with me in that house.
Oh, my.
Now he was from the U.S.
I know.
Right. And in terms of hygiene, he didn't have the same habits I had.
Yeah. We all had college roommates and stuff like that. We know. I know. Oh yes.
And at one point, the water went off.
Oh Lord. And as if that was an excuse.
Right. Now we did have outhouses. There was an outhouse. That wasn't that far away. I mean, it was only like a, 30-second walk.
Yeah.
So that was an alternative.
Yep. I think we all know where that story is going.
Right.
So yeah.
So that was probably one of the more frustrating moments.
Okay.
Yeah. But then I kind of feel sorry for the guy. He said his father raised him. He grew up in Ohio. His father was a trucker. So him and his brothers were kind of there by themselves, and okay.
Well, maybe he needed a little Peace Corps himself. Like, okay, this is what you do hygiene, won't you? Wow. Okay. Yeah. You don't know somebody until you actually move in and live with them.
Yeah. Again, from America.
Yeah. I get it. So let's lighten up with some I know there was probably lots of great moments, but one that really stands out that you often share.
Well, there's one moment I shared that kind of helps me define what I believe our role as African Americans are, vis-a-vis the continent of Africa. There was a particular time that I was with, another Swazi guy in Swaziland. And he was trying to explain to this older gentleman who I was, where I came from, and so forth. So, now, to give a little background, Southern Africa did not participate in the slave trade. So, a lot of the older folk, they don't know a lot about Western African history and the history of us in terms of the slave trade and so forth. So he was trying to explain to this older gentleman. He said, well, Baba, which is what they call, an older man, Baba meaning father. Baba, he comes from across the water. So across the waters, he's from America. But, his people, they're actually from Africa. He's from Africa. From Africa. Yes, Baba, he's from Africa. So finally he said, well, Baba, he's a Negro. And when he said that, the old man's eyes lit up. Oh, a Negro. Oh so you're the one, and he said it in his own language. The guy had to interpret it for me. So you're the one that Shaga sent to England to learn how to shoot the gun. And now you're back. So I thought about it for a minute, and I said, yeah, Baba, that's me. Now, here's what the deal was. Now, Shaga Zulu, who I think most people know who Shaga Zulu was of South Africa. Shaga Zulu never got into a battle with the white man. Never. And the reason he didn't is because he knew that if he got into a battle with the white man, he would lose because the white man had that gun.
Yeah.
So Shaga always wanted to get the technology of the gun. Now, what Shaga also did, he did send emissaries to England. Maybe not necessarily to exclusively to get the technology of the gun, but simply to send emissaries to England. So somehow this old man's, local history kicked in,
Yep.
but then a prophetic kind of thing kicked in as well. Oh, so you Negro? See, he had heard of a Negro, and there's a book that I saw in their high school called Stone Age to Space Age, and there was one paragraph in this high school book. It was a history book. One paragraph that said Negroes were taken to America to help grow cotton and tobacco. That's it. Negroes were taken to America to help grow cotton and tobacco.
It doesn't really explain much, but yes.
Right.
I've seen similar passages and so on, to simplify slavery.
So he got Negro, but then when he said, you're the one that Shaga was sent to England to learn how to shoot the gun, but then he injected his own history.
Yeah.
But ultimately, he was saying that you're the one who went someplace else to get technology to bring back to Africa.
Yes. Wow.
I said yes.
That's profound.
It's profound.
Yeah, definitely. Wow. That's cool. Well, I really do appreciate you actually taking your time to come here and sharing your experience. And hopefully, you come back again. This is Leslie, Geeks and Company and Geeking Out. We do appreciate you actually coming. We appreciate you watching us. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like. Definitely, please comment. And until our next community series, take care. Leslie out. Geeks and Company, Geeking Out.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.